Imagine living a life where no one can manipulate you, where you are free to decide, free to act, free to stand unshaken while the world tries to pull you in 1,000 directions. What would that feel like? Today, we begin a journey into the timeless wisdom of Niccolò Machiavelli, a man often misunderstood but rarely ignored. Known as the father of political realism, Machiavelli wrote The Prince more than 500 years ago, and yet his ideas on power, control, and independence echo as loudly today as they did in Renaissance Italy. This is not a book summary. It's a roadmap. Over the next 10 hours, we will explore principles that will help you master yourself, command respect, and most importantly, become someone nobody can control. Machiavelli in context. Before we talk principles, let's understand the man himself. Niccolò Machiavelli was born in Florence in 1469. At the time, Italy wasn't a unified country. It was a collection of city-states, Florence, Venice, Milan, all competing for power, all surrounded by larger kingdoms like France and Spain. Machiavelli worked as a diplomat. He saw kings rise and fall, alliances form and shatter, betrayals that changed the course of history overnight. He learned one thing above all: power favors the prepared, the strategic, the emotionally steady. His book The Prince wasn't a call for cruelty, as many people think. It was a guide for survival, for leaders, for individuals, for anyone who wanted to stay free in a dangerous world. Why uncontrollable matters. Now let's talk about you. Why should you care about becoming uncontrollable? Because every day people try to control you. It might be subtle. A boss pressuring you to agree too quickly. Friends pushing you to go along with the group. Social media shaping what you think you want. Being uncontrollable doesn't mean being reckless or rebellious. It means you are guided by reason, not impulse. By strategy, not manipulation. When you are uncontrollable, you are free to choose your path, and others are free to respect you for it. Power starts with self-mastery. Machiavelli believed power begins inside. Before you can lead others, before you can resist pressure, you must master yourself. This is the heart of today's journey. Control your emotions so they can't be used against you. Control your information so others can't twist it. Control your independence so no one holds the keys to your life. Control your strategy so you see 2 moves ahead, and control your presence so you project strength, even in chaos. These 5 principles will guide the next 9 hours. Each one will unfold in detail, with stories, lessons, and real steps you can use today. Stories of the powerful. Let me give you 2 stories to show what this looks like in real life. First, Julius Caesar. A man who walked into Rome with 1 legion and took the city without a single battle, because he controlled his image, his alliances, and his timing. Second, Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who ruled one of the largest empires in history, and yet wrote in his private journal about staying calm, about being unmoved by anger, flattery, or fear. Different men, different eras, same lesson. Control yourself, and the world cannot control you. Before we dive into the first principle, take a moment. Think about your own life. Where do you feel most pressured by others? At work? In relationships? Online? We explore Machiavelli's first principle, mastering your emotions. Keep that situation in mind, because by the end of this masterclass, you won't just understand power. You'll feel it growing inside you. Mastering your emotions, we explored the heart of Machiavelli's philosophy. Power begins within. Now we start with the first principle, perhaps the most important one. Master your emotions. Because if someone can control your anger, your fear, or your excitement, they can control you. The danger of emotional reactivity. Machiavelli lived in a world of betrayal, where alliances changed overnight. He saw rulers lose everything because they couldn't control themselves. A single outburst, a single reckless decision, and the game was over. He wrote that a leader must appear steady, rational, and calm, even if storms rage inside. Because the moment you react without thinking, you give someone else the power to steer you. Think about your own life. Have you ever sent a message in anger and regretted it? Have you ever revealed too much because you were nervous? Have you ever said yes because you were scared to say no? That was control slipping away. What Machiavelli would advise. Machiavelli would tell you this: control yourself first, or someone else will. To him, emotions were not the enemy. They were signals, but signals need interpretation, not obedience. When you feel anger, pause. When you feel fear, breathe. When you feel excitement, slow down. Why? Because emotions are temporary. Decisions can be permanent. Practical strategy, the 90-second rule. Here's a tool you can use right now. Neuroscience shows that most emotional reactions rise and fall within about 90 seconds, if you don't feed them with thoughts. So when you feel anger or panic, do nothing for 1 full minute and a half. Let the chemical wave pass. Only then decide what to do. This single habit will save you from arguments, bad deals, and manipulative traps. Pause for reflection. Soft ambient music. Exercise the emotional journal. Another exercise, keep an emotional journal for 1 week. Every time you feel triggered, write what happened. What emotion came up? How did I respond? At the end of the week, patterns appear. You'll see the people, places, and topics that push your buttons. And once you know them, you can plan ahead instead of reacting blindly. Historical example, Marcus Aurelius. Consider Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher. He ruled one of the largest empires in history while facing wars, plagues, and personal loss. Yet in his journal, the Meditations, he wrote to himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's emotional mastery. Not coldness, not apathy, just calm clarity when everyone else panics. Modern application, everyday life. So how do you apply this in real life? At work, when someone criticizes you unfairly, pause. Respond with facts, not fire. In relationships, when emotions run high, call for a break instead of a fight. In decisions, don't buy, sign, or agree while excited. Sleep on it, always. Controlling information, close your eyes for a moment. Think of a time when emotions got the better of you. Imagine replaying it, but this time you pause. You breathe. You respond slowly. We explored emotional mastery, the foundation of all power. Now, we enter the world of information, because Machiavelli understood this truth. The person who controls information controls the game. Speak too much, and you expose yourself. Speak too little, and you stay unpredictable. Both can be powerful, but only if you choose carefully. The Machiavellian principle of secrecy. Machiavelli lived among spies, diplomats, and schemers. He saw leaders win wars not just with armies, but with secrets. In The Prince, he never said, "Trust no one," but he implied this: trust slowly, speak carefully, and observe everything. Why? Because information is leverage. The less others know, the harder it is to control you. The more you know, the easier it is to make smart moves. The trap of oversharing. Most people give away power because they overshare. They explain their plans. They defend themselves unnecessarily. They reveal emotions, fears, even future moves. But here's the problem. Once others know your buttons, they can push them. Once they know your plans, they can block them. Machiavelli would say, share only what strengthens your position. Everything else, keep private. Practical strategy, the headline-only approach. Here's a method you can use today when asked about your life. Share headlines, not full stories. For example, I'm working on a project instead of every detail about it. I've got plans this weekend instead of your full itinerary. This keeps conversations light but controlled. People know enough, but never enough to control you. Active listening as a weapon. Machiavelli valued observation over talking. Every time you speak less, you learn more. People naturally fill silences with their own thoughts, feelings, and secrets. So instead of rushing to reply, ask open questions. How did that happen? What do you think about it? Then stay quiet. Listen deeply. You'll be surprised how much people reveal when you give them space. Historical example, Elizabeth I of England. Consider Queen Elizabeth I, surrounded by rivals, courtiers, and foreign powers. She was famous for her strategic silence. Ambassadors often complained, she speaks much, yet reveals nothing. And because she revealed so little, no one could predict her fully. That unpredictability kept her throne secure for decades. Modern application, work, social life, online presence. Today, control of information matters more than ever. At work, don't share career moves until they're certain. In social life, keep personal drama off public platforms. Online, post with intention, not impulse. Digital footprints last forever. Pause and think. In the past week, what did you reveal that you didn't have to? Did it help you, or give someone else power over you? This week, try speaking 30% less. Ask twice as many questions. Notice what happens, the power you're building. That's the first step to becoming uncontrollable. Building independence. Now we move to the next principle, building independence. Because the moment you rely too much on one person, one system, one source, your freedom is gone. Independence isn't selfishness. It's power. It's survival. Machiavelli on self-sufficiency. In The Prince, Machiavelli warned rulers, "A prince who depends on others for his defense stands on uncertain ground." He wasn't just talking about armies. He was talking about life. If your finances depend on one source, if your confidence depends on one person's approval, if your plans depend on one opportunity, you are vulnerable. Independence removes those chains. The 3 pillars of independence there are 3 main areas where you must build independence. Financial independence, so money can't be used against you. Emotional independence, so approval and validation don't control you. Social independence, so no single relationship can dictate your choices. Financial independence, your safety net. Machiavelli saw rulers fall because they relied on wealthy allies or mercenary armies. When the money left, power collapsed. For you, this means build savings, even small ones. Diversify income if possible. A side project. A skill you can monetize. Learn basic financial literacy. Budgets, investments, debts. Money isn't everything, but lack of it gives others power over you. Emotional independence. Mastering approval. Machiavelli observed that leaders who needed to be loved often became weak. Why? Because the fear of losing approval made them easy to control. For you, emotional independence means value respect over constant praise. Be willing to disappoint people when necessary. Build confidence from actions, not compliments. As he would say, it is better to be respected than adored. If you cannot be both. Social independence, many bridges, not one. Never rely on one person for all your opportunities or happiness. In history, Machiavelli saw rulers who trusted one powerful ally, only to be betrayed. The wise built wide networks, not single chains. For you, nurture multiple friendships. Seek mentors in different fields. Build a variety of contacts, social, professional, intellectual. When you have many bridges, losing one doesn't trap you. Historical example, the Medici family. The Medici family of Florence stayed powerful for centuries because they controlled banking, politics, art, and alliances across Europe. They never depended on one source of power. They spread their influence like roots through the soil. That's why they endured when others fell. Take a moment. Ask yourself, if I lost my job tomorrow, how long could I stand? If one person withdrew approval, would my confidence collapse? If one friend left, would I be isolated? This week, take one small step toward independence. Start a savings plan. Say no when you mean it. Reach out to someone new. Each step breaks a chain. Strategic thinking. Now we turn to the principle that made Machiavelli famous. Strategic thinking, because the one who sees 2 moves ahead never fears the move in front of them. The power of foresight. Machiavelli saw politics like a chessboard. Every decision was a move. Every alliance, every betrayal, every law, a piece sliding across the board of power. He wrote, "The wise man does at once what the fool does last." Strategy means seeing patterns before others see them. It means preparing before the storm, not during it. Impulsive versus strategic thinking. Most people live reactively. Something happens, they respond. Another thing happens, they respond again. Like leaves blown by the wind, strategic thinkers live differently. They pause. They analyze. They choose when and how to act, always asking, what happens next? Who gains, who loses? If I win this moment, what does it cost long term? This is how you become uncontrollable. You stop living from impulse. Start living from design, practical strategy, the pre-mortem. Here's a powerful tool, the pre-mortem. Before acting, imagine your plan has failed. Ask, why did this go wrong? By predicting failure before it happens, you expose risks early and adjust your strategy. Leaders, entrepreneurs, even military generals use this method to prevent disaster before it strikes. Second-order thinking. Beyond the immediate, Machiavelli would warn, short-term victories can create long-term traps. Second-order thinking asks, and then what? If you accept this job, what doors open or close? If you reveal this secret, what chain reaction begins? Every choice has consequences beyond the first move. Strategic thinkers see them. Historical example, Julius Caesar. When Julius Caesar crossed the Rubicon River in 49 BC, he triggered a civil war. Many thought it was impulsive. It wasn't. Caesar had planned alliances, secured loyalty, and studied his enemies for years. His move looked bold, but it was calculated to the final detail. That's why he won. Modern application, career, business, relationships. Today, strategic thinking protects you from traps in work, business, even relationships. Before accepting a deal, analyze motives, timing, hidden costs. Before reacting emotionally, ask what others gain from your reaction. Before committing long-term, see where the path leads, not just where it starts. Take a moment. Think about one big decision in your life right now. Imagine you've already made the wrong choice. Picture the failure. What caused it? That's what you need to prepare for. That's strategic thinking, the art of appearing strong. We've explored emotions, information, independence, and strategy. Now we reach a principle Machiavelli is most remembered for, the art of appearing strong. Because people follow confidence. They trust stability. They respect power they can see. And if you want to be uncontrollable, the world must believe you are unshaken, even when you face storms inside. Machiavelli's lesson on power and perception. In The Prince, Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." Many misunderstood this line. He didn't mean cruelty. He meant respect, the kind that comes from strength, clarity, and self-control. Because love without respect invites manipulation. But respect creates boundaries. No one dares to cross. The psychology of presence. People read you long before they hear you. Your posture tells them whether you're confident. Your tone tells them whether you're calm or desperate. Your timing tells them whether you're in control or reactive. Machiavelli understood this. Appear steady, he said, and others will think twice before pushing you. Practical strategy. Calm is power. Here are 3 habits that project strength instantly. Breathe low and slow. Fast, shallow breaths make you sound nervous. Speak with pauses. Silence after your words signals confidence. Move deliberately. Quick, jittery movements show anxiety. Calm, measured movements show control. Boundaries and authority. Strength isn't just about body language. It's also about boundaries. When you say no, say it clearly. without guilt, without over-explaining. When you set conditions, state them calmly and stick to them. People test limits. If your limits move under pressure, they lose respect. If they hold firm, respect grows. Historical example, Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth, I faced constant threats, rivals, foreign powers, religious divisions. Yet she cultivated an image of the Virgin Queen, unshaken, untouchable, devoted to her people above all. Even when she faced defeat, she projected dignity and strength. It made enemies hesitate and allies stay loyal. Modern application, everyday confidence. In work, relationships, and public life, the same principle applies today. Hold yourself with calm authority, even under stress. Speak less when emotions run high. Choose actions that signal confidence. Eye contact, steady tone, decisive language. Think about a time when you felt nervous but tried to hide it. How different would things be if you had appeared calm, even if you weren't? This week, practice one habit of composure. Slower speech, deliberate pauses, or stronger posture. Appear strong, and watch how people respond. Case studies and analysis. We've studied the principles of power, emotional mastery, information control, independence, strategy, and the art of appearing strong. But principles come alive when we see them in action. In this hour, we study real people, rulers, thinkers, leaders who became uncontrollable by living these lessons. Case study 1. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic Emperor. Marcus Aurelius ruled Rome at its height, yet faced plagues, wars, and betrayal. His journal, Meditations, revealed a man who mastered his emotions. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." While others panicked, Marcus stayed calm. His composure kept the empire steady during chaos. Emotional mastery was his armor. How would your life change if you stayed calm under pressure like Marcus? Case study 2. Queen Elizabeth I, the master of perception. Elizabeth I ruled as a woman in a man's world, surrounded by threats at home and abroad. She revealed little, spoke carefully, and appeared decisive even when unsure. Ambassadors wrote, "She speaks much, yet reveals nothing." Her control of information and image kept England independent and powerful for decades. How often do you reveal more than you should? What if you held back strategically? Case study 3. Julius Caesar, the strategic visionary. When Caesar crossed the Rubicon River in 49 BC, he broke Roman law and changed history. Many thought it was reckless. But Caesar had planned alliances, secured loyalty, and prepared Rome for years. His bold move looked impulsive but was strategic perfection. Do your bold moves come from preparation or impulse? Case study 4. The Medici family, masters of independence. The Medici family of Florence built wealth through banking, art patronage, and politics. They never relied on one source of power. If politics failed, their wealth protected them. If wealth was threatened, alliances saved them. Their independence made them untouchable for centuries. Where in your life do you depend on only one pillar? How can you add a second? Case study 5. Modern leaders, composure under fire. Modern examples include leaders who stay calm in crises, CEOs who make decisions strategically, activists who control narratives instead of reacting to attacks. The lesson is the same. Those who control themselves, their information, and their presence shape events rather than being shaped by them. Reflection break. Which story spoke to you most? The calm of Marcus Aurelius? The secrecy of Elizabeth? The strategy of Caesar? The independence of the Medici? Choose one lesson from their lives. Apply it this week. History repeats itself only when we refuse to learn from it. Applying principles in daily life. We've studied principles. We've seen history's examples. Now it's time to act. Because wisdom without action changes nothing. Power grows only when we live the lessons, not just listen to them. Applying emotional mastery at work. Emotions run high. Deadlines, criticism, office politics. When criticized unfairly, pause before replying. Respond with facts, not fire. In conflict, call for a break. Say, let's revisit this in 10 minutes. Cooling down gives you control. When good news comes, celebrate calmly. Don't make promises in excitement you can't keep later. Emotional control doesn't remove passion. It directs it. Applying information control. In personal life, oversharing creates vulnerability. On social media, post with purpose, not impulse at work. Give progress updates. But keep strategic plans private until ready. With friends, share feelings wisely. Not every thought needs an audience. Control information not to be secretive, but to stay powerful. Try the headline only. Rule for 3 conversations this week. Applying independence. Protects you from being cornered. Financial. Set aside even small savings each month. Emotional. Learn to enjoy your own company. Solitude builds strength. Social. Cultivate multiple connections, not just one gatekeeper. People respect those who stand on their own feet. What's one area where you depend too heavily on someone else? Plan a step toward freedom. Applying strategic thinking. At work, in relationships, in business, strategy means asking, what happens next? Before accepting opportunities, imagine second-order consequences. Before reacting to conflict, ask who benefits from your reaction. Before committing long-term, map out the next 5 moves. Impulsive choices give power away. Strategic choices build it. Applying. The art of appearing strong. Confidence is as much about behavior as feelings. Stand tall even when unsure. Speak slower when nervous. Set boundaries calmly, instead of defending them emotionally. People believe what you project. Appear calm, appear strong, and strength grows. Practical power plan. Here's your 5-day power plan. Day 1. Pause before reacting emotionally. Day 2. Speak 30% less. Ask twice as many questions. Day 3. Put $20 into savings or start a skill project. Day 4. Use a pre-mortem before one big decision. Day 5. Practice calm posture and slower speech in one tough situation. Small steps. Repeated, build an uncontrollable life. Guided reflections and scenarios. We've learned the principles. We've seen history's examples. We've explored practical actions. Now it's time to practice power in your mind before you face the world. Because the brain doesn't fully separate real experiences from vividly imagined ones. Mental rehearsal builds calm, confidence, and control. The heated argument, close your eyes. Imagine someone accusing you unfairly in a meeting, voice rising, everyone watching. Most people react instantly. Their voice shakes. They argue emotionally. Power slips away. Now imagine yourself pausing. 1 breath, 2, 3. You speak slowly, evenly. I hear your point. Let's look at the facts together. No anger. No defense. Calm control. You've just practiced emotional mastery. The manipulative question. Instead of explaining everything, you give a headline answer. I'm considering a few options. Then you ask them a question back. What's your perspective on it? They reveal more than you do. You've just practiced controlling information. Losing a safety net. Now, imagine your main source of income, approval or support, suddenly disappears. Instead of panic, you feel prepared. Because you built savings, you built skills, you built multiple relationships. You don't depend on one pillar. Your life stands on many. You've just practiced independence. The big decision. Picture a tempting offer. A job, a partnership, a deal. Most people say yes impulsively. You instead run a mental pre-mortem. If this failed badly in 1 year, what caused it? You spot risks early. You adjust or walk away. That's strategic thinking. The public challenge. Finally, imagine someone confronting you publicly. All eyes on you. Instead of fidgeting, you stand tall, shoulders back. Breathe low. Speak slower than you feel. Your composure unsettles them. Calm is power. That's appearing strong. Every time you visualize success, your brain builds the pathways for real success. This week, choose one real-life situation to apply these principles. Practice calmly, deliberately, like we did here. We've studied history's greatest leaders. We've practiced real-world scenarios. Now it's time to bring everything together into one clear path forward, a path to becoming truly uncontrollable. Recap of the 5 principles. Let's revisit the 5 principles that form the core of Machiavelli's power wisdom. Master your emotions, because the one who controls your emotions controls you. 2. Control information. Speak less, listen more, reveal strategically. Rebuild independence, financially, emotionally, socially. No single point of failure. 4. Think strategically. See 2 moves ahead. Prepare before you act. 5. Appear strong. Project calm, confidence, and composure under pressure. The power cycle. How principles work together. These principles don't stand alone. They work like gears in a machine. Emotional mastery keeps you calm so you can think. Clearly, control of information keeps others guessing while you keep learning. Independence ensures no one holds your freedom. Hostage. Strategic thinking turns chaos into advantage. A strong appearance turns respect into influence. Together, they form the power cycle, a way of living, where control begins inside you and radiates outward. The 30-day power challenge. Here's how to live this, starting today. Week 1, emotional. Mastery practice the 90-second rule before reacting. Keep an emotional journal to track triggers. Week 2, control information use. The headline-only rule in conversations. Listen twice as much as you speak. Week 3, independence. Start a savings plan, no matter how small. Build one new skill or connection. Week 4, strategy and strength. Run a pre-mortem before any big decision. Practice calm posture and slower speech in tense moments. After 30 days, you'll see changes, subtle at first, then undeniable. The Machiavellian mindset. Remember, Machiavelli wasn't teaching cruelty. He was teaching realism. Power isn't about dominating others. It's about mastering yourself so no one can dominate you. That's why becoming uncontrollable begins with discipline, strategy, and confidence, not chaos. Power doesn't appear overnight. But every pause before reacting, every secret kept, every plan made ahead of time builds it slowly, steadily. The world will always try to control you. Your job is to master yourself so completely that no one else can. That is Machiavelli's law of power. That is how you become uncontrollable.